God, that's weird. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the season premiere of Snuffed. We are so happy to be back to recap the Shadowlands this season. I am joined today by my trusty co-host, Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. It feels so good to be back.
It feels so good to be back, and we're recapping our season.
I know took many months putting this bad boy together, so
Took
this
so
means a lot.
I don't know. I'm so fucking happy, but we're here. We made it. And additionally, we are also joined by a resident production member, challenge designer, and just icon in general. Hi, Jack.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. This season has been incredible so far. I am very happy to say that I've been impressed by basically everyone, and basically seeing how this is being recorded right before probably the first major turning point of the season.
Mhm.
I am very excited to go through every single player right now.
Me too.
I mean, by the time they hear this, they're gonna know what happened, so we can say it. They're going into a tribe swap.
they're going into they're going from their little tribes, which some have five, some have six, one has seven, and now we're going into two tribes of nine. So we're actually going to be not expanding tribes, but expanding the number of people per tribe. So I'm excited to
Yes.
see how this shakes out and see maybe some people who may be on the top maybe have a struggle, or maybe people who are on the bottom are able to find new room to grow. So it's just a twisty season, and I'm living for it right now.
And before
It
we get
really
started, I'd
is.
also like to thank Jack because Jack was so instrumental in his support and the creation of a lot of the challenges and helping Nick and I get this off the ground. So thank you very much.
No, genuinely, thank you so much, Jack. Like Jason and I definitely laid down like obviously like the foundational stuff of like what's gonna happen when, but like when it comes to like challenge design, Jack carried the bulk of this season. Like put heart and soul into everything, and just I cannot thank you enough for the amount of work, even like outside of like doing like actual write-ups and like challenge prep, also just answering any questions and giving like feedback and advice, because like you obviously know what works and what doesn't work. So it's just I'm just so grateful for you, honestly. So I appreciate you a lot.
I think it's honestly just been a matter of time reflecting on what worked last season in terms of challenges, now realizing more of like what the bot can be built to do, looking through what we've used in the past of like timings. Everything this season is basically building on all of the challenge work we did for last season, and I am very excited because I mean, so far we've had all challenges that people have seen in the past, but we do have some very nice games that are coming up, especially towards the back half of the season, that I think players are going to not necessarily be expecting, but also be very excited for.
No, I agree. I'm so pumped for it, honestly. I mean, it's obviously been like fucking 4 months of like trying to get this off the ground and get it together, and it's finally here. So it's just a huge relief. And also to top it all off, we have this cast that is so fucking good, and like on all cylinders are delivering like entertainment and content for the most part. So it's just been so refreshing to see. So I'm living so far this season, quite frankly. I really am. But speaking of the cast, shall we get into doing our cast assessment?
Yes, we shall. Well, we should.
I
We have to.
say so.
All right, well, then let's get started and go right into it. So, our first up is 26-year-old Anna. She's a pasta lover, mom, and Dolly Parton enthusiast. Oh, period. She's a teacher and an actor in real life. She's going to be the player to watch because she's going to provide entertainment for the season and plans on climbing to the top socially and finding allies who will push her further in the game. And she's not afraid to speak her mind. So, I'm going to start with Jack. Jack, what are your thoughts on Anna?
I think Anna has been in a very nice position, considering the fact that not only has she been to the first two tribals of this game, but
Mhm.
in that first tribal, straight up lost her number one because she just had to go with the group.
Right.
And has cemented herself as, funnily enough, the kind of the mother of this tribe at the moment. And I've been very happy not only with the amount of content she's giving us, but she is acting as like, hey, if you're willing to like if you need anything a lot for the other players, she's willing to bounce off. And honestly, I am very excited to see how she does. I think going into this now tribe swap that we're about to see, she's probably in a great spot of being able to adapt with any sort of game that she's given.
Right.
So at least for me right now, she's a toot.
Okay. No, I mean, no notes for me, honestly. I think she's so entertaining. And I fought tooth and nail and was in her DMs incessantly being like, please apply, please apply, please apply. And I'm so happy she did because I knew that she would deliver. It's 100% a toot for me, too. No, no notes. Jason, thoughts on Anna?
Yeah, Anna's been so good so far. Like her social game is just top tier. And like this was a weekend where it's Mother's Day. And
Right.
she took yesterday off and was still kind of checking in, but it was an easy. We've seen some players already kind of stumble out of the gates, and Anna still managed to be present and in their DMs and avoided getting voted out at two travel councils already, and has like really good footing. She's got this like way of just like connecting with anybody, no matter how old they are. So, and we've seen her play in Namibia and get the furthest out of the newbies. So I think Anna's going to go pretty far. Like, can adapt to anybody, even in a tribe swap. So, toot for me as well.
She is indeed mother. All right, Jason, who's up next?
Oh, damn. I've got like so many damn things open. Okay. We have Brooke, 25. And Brooke returns to the Survivor scene after a decade from actually playing Suitman's Survivor Kazakhstan. They claim that they are now wiser, bolder, proudly themselves, has two master degrees and a mind that never stops. Brooke plans to overwhelm the competition with charm, strategy, and sheer message volume. A social juggernaut and a confessional machine, Brooke is here to control the narrative, one DM at a time. Nick, let's start with you on your thoughts about Brooke.
Yeah, I think that they've been playing very well so far. I'm really enjoying the content they brought. And I think that, like, because I played with them before, and like, I think from what I'm seeing so far, like, they've always been a very socially savvy and like strategic player for sure. But I think it's been more refined now. And I'm really enjoying seeing this version of who Brooke is as a player. And it's a toot for me as well. I'm really enjoying Brooke.
Jack?
So this one is very, very personal for me. Brooke is someone that I have now podcasted with for just about 2 years over at the Cup Pod, where we've done a lot of reality TV podcasting around The Amazing Race and Survivor and Dragula. I have also played multiple games with Brooke, both in the past, that's how I initially met them, and also most recently when we won an escape room game together. Brooke is someone that knows how to talk to people straight up. 100% they are someone who will make the end game unless they get sniped for being too good at the game. So, I mean, maybe it's favoritism, but yeah, no, Brooke is my top two, 100%.
Oh, coming out the
Wow.
gear. Up toot.
Um, I am not quite sold yet. And it's not really a, like Brooks' fault. They've won two challenges, so they haven't really had to play the game yet. So it's really hard to tell where they currently stand. Looking at the original trust rankings, Rook was on the bottom. Now we were missing a few trust rankings, so I don't want to put too much stock in that. And it looks
We
like
were
they've kind of
missing
risen a little bit.
Dell and Brooke,
Uh,
who I think
yeah,
if Dell submits, Brooke is not on the bottom anymore.
yeah, but still, I think at this point, they might benefit from a tribe swap. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so hard. There's so many good players, and I don't have enough. I am going to do a soft boot for now and reassess as we come along.
Oh, tea was
So
spit.
this might be the most like out of all the seasons we've ever done a boot and toot episode. Like this person has a top toot, a toot, and a soft boot. I don't think that's ever happened. First for everything.
Oh no, quite literally. Okay, next up we've got Shima. Shima is 21 years old.
Sorry, who? Oh, Shima. Sorry, I thought you said they said Sheila, and I'm like, who the hell is Sheila?
I said Shima,
Got it.
as in Big Brother 11 icon Shima Simone. Anyway, Shima is an aspiring doctor who's getting closer and closer to reaching that goal every day. He plans to bring a sense of uniqueness and unpredictability this season. Feels like he could be potentially the player to watch and root for because they can be a fun, relatable guy and tends to be a pure soul. Unfortunately, Shima was not the one to watch. Shima could come back from Takore, but right now I am not anticipating that happening. So it's a boot for me, unfortunately, this time around for Shima. But
Okay, I think we need to start by saying that this is a season with Takor, and they may come back into the game.
correct.
There's a chance.
Someone is indeed coming back to the game. Who? We don't know. But yeah, no, based on what I saw, it's a boot. Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I do say that they could come back, but it's hard to give somebody who has been booted out of the game once a toot. So I am going to give Shima a boot. But currently, of the people that are on to core, Shima has the best chance, I'd say, of getting out and back into the game. Now that's likely to change as more people join them. But yeah, it's early and I have to give Shima the boot. Jack?
All right.
You know, I really did want to give Chima more. And thankfully, I don't think they were the messiest person in the game because that role was very much usurped on that tribe literally in the next round. But Chima did not have a strong start to this game. Uh and I have a feeling that the story of why Chima kind of spiraled could end up seeping into any sort of merge situation. I don't see I don't see him coming back into the game with any sort of chance of actually making it past probably one or two rounds of merge.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like I love Chima as a person. He's given a lot of content, like a lot of content for us, and I do really thank that. And I think that's why I'm giving him a soft boot is just because of the amount of obvious dedication that he's given us. But it is 100% a soft boot, and maybe this feels like someone that could be brought back for a future season, like John was, if you're comparing the Suitmans to Prestige, of like someone who obviously fucked up hard immediately and just needed that moment to be like, okay, that's not how we play the game.
Right.
It's weird because Shima didn't really fuck up that hard. They just were like
No.
inactive, right? Like that's the reason they were the
Mhm.
first boot.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I feel like Issa kind of was more vocal about and like screwed up really bad, but it was already too late that everybody already was like Shiva's just inactive.
Yeah, and it's the first round too, so no one was gonna like go out on a limb and try to like flip the vote last minute on the first episode. Like, be so for real. Like that was never gonna
Yeah.
happen. Unfortunately, I would have loved for it to happen, but it just obviously didn't show up that way. But such is life. But Jason, who's next?
Next up, we have Chloe, six-time
My
fan
queen.
favorite for a reason.
Oh.
Bold, blunt, unapologetically iconic. Chloe doesn't need your approval to dominate the season. They know they're a star, and if you don't stand them, that's your problem. I'm going to start. That's short and sweet bio, but clearly did not live up to any of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
no.
Mm.
Poor Chloe, the youngest in the cast, first boot, and will be a boot from me. It like had so much potential, but so sad how that just ended. Jack.
Oh my God. Chloe really did have a lot of potential, but yeah, no, she just never from what I've seen, she just never connected with basically anyone else on the cast. And it was not there was a little bit of a turn on like could it be Kyle, but no. Uh Chloe just did not get a good footing and I don't think it's possible. It is, I could see it as someone who could come back in the merge and play the game, but yeah, it's a full boot.
Nick.
I love Chloe. I love her so much. She's a diva. She's iconic and entertaining. I'm so happy that she ended up being on this season. I just wish it was a better outcome. But I cannot, with the caliber of this cast, unfortunately, I cannot give her a toot. However, I do see the vision, and I know the vision because I've played with Chloe before. So it's got to be a soft boot for me because I do love her.
I'll say Chloe's giving some fun, entertaining content in their confessionals still, even though they're on the core.
Yes.
But girl, reading comprehension, please.
Lack thereof. Okay. Next up, we have 27-year-old consultant from North Carolina, Dell. Dell is intense, maybe like Marmite, where you may love her or hate her, depending on your taste or circumstance. But at the end of the season, everyone will agree I play incredibly hard, intentionally, and without fear or indecisiveness. Jack, thoughts on Dell?
I have loved Dell so much on the tribe that really hasn't had to play the game so far. Dell has actively like Dell has started the only alliance uh of Talpo so far. Uh I've really enjoyed their confessionals. They are very clearly the entire tribe's favorite. Uh she does have an immediate advantage of being able to have a two-third search to find anything on the board with a close ally. 100% I see Dell getting more and more and more power. Yeah, Dell's a full tooth.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah, Dell. This is the first time I've ever seen Dell play, and they have been so entertaining to watch. And they have the tribe wrapped around their fingers. My only concern is usually when you see somebody come out this strong and like challenge performance led their tribe to immunity almost single-handedly, like usually that's not the winner of the season. So I am afraid of what's going to happen at the merge, unless it's like the Amazon and they just let the clear favorite just go to the end. That'll be Dell. But I'm worried about what happens there, and I'm excited to see how Dell manages that. But I'm so excited to see how she plays this game. Dell is a toot for me for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I played with Dell in Lore Viver All Stars recently, and Dell was my number one ally. She got fifth place. She was robbed. I think Dell is my top two of the season for sure. I think she's incredible and a great player. She's entertaining, fun, and smart. And it's just the whole package for me. Um, she's just unafraid to make bold moves and just be very cutthroat. And she's just mother. She's just mother. I do agree with what Jason's saying though about her threat level already being a bit high. I think that Dell is kind of that classic case of people that have a difficulty kind of being able to really adequately manage the threat level well. So I think that is a concern, but she's still my top two. She's a diva, so it's a yes for me, dog. Jason, who's next? Jason really just left, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Then I
Oh,
mean,
I just had my mute on and I was talking. Okay.
oops.
I
Oops.
was like, hello.
Next up, we have 18-year-old Issa. Is that how you say it?
I
Issa?
think I'm not sure.
Yes, I
We're
believe
going to
you're
say
right.
Issa. Okay. Issa is intensity personified. Love them or hate them. This castaway plays with purpose, guts, and zero hesitation. Every move is calculated, every moment intentional. By the end, no one will question their commitment to the game. And we did see intensity, but not intensity that's going to get Issa the win, as they were voted out just now.
Yeah, that is not a good. Seeing what happened, that's a very sad reflection. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like and again, that's like, oh, they gave the longest bio and I condensed that, but they did come out and were intense, just always attacked the wrong person and found themselves probably should have been voted out last round and needed the win and didn't even participate in the challenge. So now I will say, unfortunately, I think the time zones probably didn't help Issa at all, but I
Right.
can't see Issa getting into the game. And if they did get into the game, I can't imagine them getting any further than the immediate boot. So Issa's a boot for me. Jack?
Yeah, so Issa was a mess. There's no other way of saying it other than Issa was a mess. They attempted to spin an entire narrative against Jason from literally last episode, by voting him, and then basically has spent the entire day attempting to get a vote on Jason and then realizing that's not going to work and then deleting messages in order to try and just save themselves from not being screwed. And yeah, it was never going to work. Issa 100% has been a complete mess. And yeah, no, it's a full boot. I'm so
Issa
sorry.
successfully got votes on Jason, two of them, both from them.
Period.
Both from them received a vote at both tribals, and then went home. So, great.
Justice for that strategic diva. Anyway, it's a boot for me too. Next.
Would you like to elaborate?
No, you guys have covered it all. I'm sorry, Issa. Like you really gave a great bio, but like, yeah, no, it just sadly it did not translate the game. But maybe Issa will return and have a complete 180 of gameplay. We'll see. Doubt it, but we'll see. Next up, next up is also an enjoyable person for me. Next up is 44-year-old flower farmer from Delaware, Fifi. Fifi says, "What's up, everybody? Besides her video confessionals and cast impression videos, you're going to love watching her. She's a little unpredictable, sometimes super reactive, and other times very strategic and careful. Kind of depends on how she feels on any given day, period. She's fun despite her age, and she can act like a total idiot in the best way possible. She's mostly looking forward to a whole new crowd of people to pick apart and make them love me. It's a toot from me immediately. I fucking love Fifi. I hosted Fifi and John Viber recently, back-to-back seasons, and she's so fucking fun, and she's just an icon. But anyway, Jack, what are your thoughts on Fifi?
I have really enjoyed Fifi. I mean, anyone who gives any sort of video confessional is immediately going to be on the top of my list.
Mhm.
But she's been really fun. I have enjoyed her presence so far. I do think that she's going to be someone who will probably be fine come this swap, because she can get into a it feels like she'll be able to get a lot of quick connections very, very quickly.
Mhm.
I will note that she was like dead center on a lot of people's rankings, and I do think she could be caught out, but I'm ultimately not sure. But for
Mm.
right now, I am just going to give it to.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, like Fifi's confessionals are amazing. I love watching them. Actually, the one caveat is she does film it while she's driving, and that gives me so much anxiety.
Oh, same.
And usually we would message them and be like, be careful, but Fifi is an adult and more aware than most. So gonna give her the benefit here, but no, like she gives us so much great content. It is very concerning that she is dead in the middle, and her number one ally is at the back of the tribe and Kyle. So a little something to be like something to consider in the game, but Fifi is so much fun, and I'd be devastated if we lost her early.
Oh God, don't put that out
And a
there.
toot for me. What's that?
I said, don't even put that out there.
I mean, so far we've other than the ones that have left already the game, like it's gonna be so hard to determine the other boots.
No, I know. All right, Jason, who's next?
Next up is Frasier, and I keep going around everything. Frasier, 17-year-old Aussie student with a love for nature, sport, and being underestimated. Frasier is friendly, funny, and underestimated by design. He plans to be both the comic relief and the silent assassin of the season, but don't let the laid back energy fool you. They're gunning for the win. Nick, what are your thoughts on Frasier?
Okay, honestly, I didn't know what to make of Frasier. Like this, like initially, like I think Frasier was one of the ones from the Amazon that was an alternate. Um, but Frasier has actually really impressed me so far, and I'm really enjoying Frasier. I think that next to Dell, Frasier's in the best position on that tribe, before they swap in about 5 minutes. But I'm really enjoying Frasier. And like, despite Frasier being young, I think that Frasier is actually doing really well. So I'm thoroughly impressed, and it's a toot for me.
Jack?
Frasier is quite literally the favorite of the entire tribe. Literally outside of one, I want to say, just re-looking at the trust ranking here, uh, every single person either gave Frasier their one. Nope, sorry, I am looking at the wrong ranking. That would be Dell that I was looking at. Ignore that. But
One or two, though. Frasier is one or two in three people's trust
Frasier,
rankings.
yeah. Frazier has a really good block at the moment, and it would not surprise me if he ends up in a strong position leading into the next round. It will depend on where he gets shuffled to, seeing how this tribe swap is going to be completely random. Uh, I could see him being in a good position, especially having the already just naturally the greatest chance of having his own allies in his corner. But I will be very interested to see where he continues to go. He is a toot for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, Frasier's been super fun to watch. Is in such a great spot. I just I don't know. I feel like being the Aussie and being like I could see the entertaining and like the funny persona that he's trying to give off, and just being that personable gets you so far in this game. So I feel like even in a tribe swap, they're gonna be in a pretty good spot, and I don't think they're as like threatening as Adele comes across. So I feel like they are one of those people that can kind of sneak further in the game without kind of getting recognized as
Mhm.
being in a top spot in a lot of people's trust rankings.
Right.
So saying that, Fraser's clearly a two for me.
All right. No notes. Okay. Next up, we have 25-year-old football recruiter Gersh. Pretty sure it's Gersh. I played with Gersh before. I really should know.
That's how I say it.
But anyway, um, Gersh is a football recruiting intern for the U.S. Naval Academy. Oh, that's iconic. Plans to bring his unique recruiting skills to the Shadowlands that will set him apart from the rest of the cast. He is a player to watch because he will bring his own abilities and skills to the table that will help him get far in the game. He knows football and Survivor very well and is a huge game theory nerd. And he's excited to get to know new people as well as continue on his org community journey. Jack, thoughts on Gersh?
I have enjoyed Gersh so far. I can't say anything bad about him. He has really given a lot of good information to us. I do want to see what he does with a tribe swap. At the moment, he is kind of just like nicely in a position. He hasn't really had to make, in my opinion, any major cuts. He trusted Chloe a little bit, but was kind of willing to drop her. So I'm interested to see what he does moving forward. For now, he is a two.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah, I'm feeling like Gersha's at the top of the trust rankings right now after episode one. I haven't looked at the episode two ones yet. He did drop, like you said, one of his top three, which is always interesting. We did see Anna do the same thing, so it's not a wild thing to do, but I just like they're in a good spot. They're giving some decent confessionals, but yeah, I'm kind of feeling like Jack. I'm not sure where this is going.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard because like I don't want to boot like a top tier player right now, but I've got so many other favorites that I am actually going to do a soft boot for Gersh.
Bitch. No. That's valid. Yeah.
Only because I have to I like to do it 50-50 as close as I can. And some people just got to get it. I'm sorry.
I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. We have an odd number cast this season, bud.
Yeah. So that means I can give more toots. Thank you.
True. 11 and 10. Or 12 and 9. I mean, hell, we've done it before too. But either way, it's a toot for me. I enjoy Gersh. I think that he's actually been in a pretty good spot, obviously, so far, given the fact that he's number one on trust rankings for that tribe average wise. I do think what you guys are saying is valid, though, because I do worry about, in a swap context, I could see him being the type of player that wouldn't be necessarily an easy vote, but would be kind of a blindsided swap moment. So we'll have to see. I'm enjoying him so far, though, so I am going to continue to proceed with him as a toot. But yeah, that's where I stand. Jason, talk to me about Jamie.
Jamie is 18-year-old from Scotland. Self-proclaimed chaos agent with sharp opinions and sharper gameplay. Trust is never given, only leveraged. Jamie plays the long con and takes joy in flipping the script at just the right time. Unpredictable and unapologetic. They're here to keep you guessing. Nick, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah. So Jamie is someone that played in Suitman's before and went out incredibly early, and I would say, frankly, probably was robbed that season, honestly. But Jamie's, despite being on the lower half of the trust rankings for that tribe, I think is still doing well. They're giving entertaining content. They're still talking around. And I feel like out of all three tribes, that tribe most definitely has the most fluidity to it, because I feel like there haven't been lines drawn in the sand. And I could easily see the power people trying to pick off each other first. Plus, we're going into a swap anyway, so it'll be fine. But right now, for Jamie, it's a toot for me. It's maybe a softer toot, but still a toot.
Jack?
I have been enjoying what Jamie has been given out so far. I think Jamie is in an interesting spot, especially moving into a swap situation. I could see them trying to leverage being just naturally on a tribe that has more people, but My gut instinct says that they will 100% be fine with this swap as long as they don't do anything crazy.
Mhm.
I want to see their game develop more, though, because obviously, once again, Jamie hasn't had to throw anyone under the bus yet. Jamie hasn't had to cause any chaos yet. Uh, I just want to check something for my notes. Yes, Jamie is part of the Only Alliance at the moment, and it seems like they're at least in a decent spot. So I'll give them a toot for now, but I want to see what happens going forward.
All
Yeah, I
right.
kind of feel similar. Like I feel like Jamie. I'm excited to see Jamie in this swap because I do feel like they're going to be in that position where they can adapt and they're going to be able to be pulled into whatever the majority alliance ends up being. So I do feel confident that Jamie has that ability because, like you said, he found his way into the only alliance on the Taupel right now. So like
Mhm.
I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling pretty good. I think again, this is a long game and being in his position is probably for the better. Like no one's going to be voting him out for being a target right now, you know? So I'm excited to see where Jamie goes. And I don't remember the Suitman seasons.
It was
They
fine.
must have
It,
It was
they
evolved in their
they went
gameplay.
home very, very fast. I
yeah,
want to say they were second boot.
they were second boot on season 31.
So look at this. Already growing. Good job,
Already
Jamie.
growth from 20th place to at least 18th. Okay,
Unless you get 18th and then somebody behind you gets brought back. But anyways.
true. Either way, he has still beaten his placement. Okay, next up, we have 47-year-old comedian and creative director from Chicago, Jason. Not this Jason, but a different Jason. Um,
Oh man, can you imagine being that old?
Bitch, you're almost 40.
Don't.
He's a dope. Okay, Jason says, "Hello, spectators. Are you ready to read full, coherent thoughts with clear, articulated thoughts and not just memes and screenshots of chats? Then I'm your player." He analyzes each day and dives into the specifics of that day, gives his thoughts on challenges and challengers, and makes kick-ass graphics that make it easy to follow along. He says that people are going to want to follow his journey in every org he's pegged as a big character, and one of the Spec's favorites to watch because his playstyle is sometimes chaotic, erratic, or very composed. Okay, so Jack. No, just actually no, scratch that. I start with Jack every time. Jason, thoughts on Jason?
Oh, I'm so conflicted on Jason because they've been giving such great confessionals. They give great graphics, although I do think they might be focusing too much on the graphics and not enough time in actually building the connections with their tribe.
Well,
That
yes.
being said, I do think like they've been targets for two tribals, and he's got enough of a connection with Topher, and like, he's starting to build on Anna. He's starting to build it that they've kept him over Shima and Isa. So like
Yes.
I think that there's a potential here. Again, just like Jamie, not being seen as a threat clearly, and did very bad in the challenge yesterday. So I know I'm not really selling him right now, but I want to be on the Jason hype train. Like they're so much fun to watch, and I really want to see them go further. I'm going to give Jason a toot.
Okay, Jack.
Let's go to Jack.
I want so badly to give Jason a toot. Um, because the graphics and everything, he is clearly dedicated to this game. He, before basically Issa spiraled, I had a potential feeling that Jason was going to be the boot this round. Uh, Jason doesn't seem to really be gelling with some of his other tribe mates, which is unfortunate. At least from my view, it seems like everyone is going, yeah, okay, we're good with him, but we're also not necessarily against throwing him out if need be. Now, granted, could my read on that be kind of wrong? yes, like most of my reads are, but I feel like this swap will be a test of whether or not he can actually like fully push this game through. I
Like,
I want him to do well because I want these incredible graphics to continue, but for now he's a soft boot.
I think you're right though, in the sense like right now in their position in the tribe, like Anna, Kyler, and Tristan are running the show, and it's really their choice on if they vote. If we weren't going into a tribe swap, if they were voting out Topher or Jason, and I think that they were more threatened by Topher than Jason. So I even think that he would probably survive another round.
True.
So there's potential, and like there's always going to be somebody more threatening than Jason.
True.
Mhm.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's a soft boot
Yeah.
for me too. Sorry to that man. I like his graphics and he's entertaining and fun. I need his position to be a bit stronger at this point in the game. So
Jason, whatever you do with the tribe swap, talk to people, connect.
correct.
Graphics later. Graphics later.
Do something.
And it's the worst because we're like there's gonna be no purple in the next swap, so that he has to change his graphics.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up next?
Oh shit, that's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have John, 32 years old. John is back after a crash and burn return from retirement, and this time they're playing smarter, not faster. A self-proclaimed social butterfly with zero allegiance. John is here to entertain, stir the pot, and maybe, just maybe, pull off the redemption arc of the year. And for listeners who weren't here for was it Namibia his last season?
Yes.
Yes.
They started off by giving their tribe a strict deadline on needing to know who he was going to be voting out, and I think he gave the tribe his alliance 5 minutes to make a decision,
Yep.
and then ended up being voted out themselves. So maybe not the greatest start, but we'll
Because
start with Nick on this one.
unsurprisingly, that's a bad idea.
Unsurprisingly, correct. Nick,
So here's my thing with John. He's been
no, not this intro.
I don't know how to feel about John because he's been like so active and so, I don't know how far he's going to go. I don't think he's in a bad spot per se. I just worry that he might be getting a little bit too antsy right now, especially when a swap happens. I feel like he'll be kind of, I don't know. I think when the swap comes, he might dial up the anxious moves to where it could be a problem. And like, John is a good character, 100%. I agree. Like, he's a good character. I have no beef with John, obviously, as a player. I don't know. It's a soft boot for me only because his cast is so strong at this point in time. So I'm sorry to John, but yeah. Next, ooh, Jack, thoughts?
See, I want John to do really well. I mean, he was an alt last season.
Mhm.
He very clearly wanted to come back and prove things. I feel like, yeah, your read is right that he's probably going to overplay during this swap. Uh, I I can see him like being like, well, I really need to get my foot in here. I need to make sure that I'm in a good position, making one or two alliances potentially, and everyone going like, why is John playing so hard and blindsiding him within 1 to 2 rounds? Unfortunately, it could be a very quick exit for John if he's not careful here, especially because a lot of this game is going to be about how quickly you can make connections in the pre-merge. So unfortunately for me right now, he is a soft boot.
Okay, Chase.
Yeah, it's weird because John is actually in a really good spot on their tribe right now. But yeah, I'm not getting much from the confessional. Like, they're giving decent content. I'm just not really seeing where the game is going. The swap is obviously going to change everything, and John could be in a great spot and ends up on a tribe with Gersh, Mads, and Lav, and they're set up with the majority. But it also could go really sideways. And if it goes sideways for John, I think John's screwed. With this massive, like with this great cast, I am going to give John a boot just because I am running out of toots. Sorry, John.
All right. Next up is Kyle. He is a 19-year-old Hungarian college student living in Romania. He works as an event organizer and photographer part-time and is also taking part of, I think, student council, I'm assuming at college. He's currently learning computer science. He can confidently state that it's improved his critical thinking and logic skills in a way that he can sense if someone's lying to him. I don't know how you get that from computer science, but all right. Anyway, he's been part of the org community for over 2 years and has had quite a lot of experiences throughout this time. He's gained tons of knowledge about the game itself, and he's coming in ruthless and always 2 steps ahead. He will only care about his game and try to sneak his way to the end whilst being the puller of all the strings possible. I fear that instead of being 2 steps forward, he may in fact be 2 steps back. Because socially, he is not 2 steps ahead. He is 2 steps, maybe even 3 steps back. So unfortunately for Kyle, it's a boot for me. But I really do enjoy the like cartoonish villain that he's kind of trying to be right now. But it's still a boot for me. But Jack.
Yeah, Kyle, unfortunately, at least for now, is not in a good spot. This swap is probably coming at the best time for Kyle specifically, because if Ohau were to lose a tribal, he would be going home, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Kyle has a lot of commitments, and it's very obvious, unfortunately. I am very afraid that Kyle could be pinned here as a target, especially going into the swap if he continues to not be as social or if Ohau needs to throw someone under the bus. Kyle could be the obvious hit. Full boot right now. I do not see him getting past pre-merge.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah, I really want to like Kyle. And like knowing Kyle and Fifi are kind of like number ones here. I'd like want to root for them, but Kyle just is like lacking some social awareness that they're at the bottom of this tribe and not really putting in the effort. Like I don't know if they just feel like because they have Fifi they're going to be good. But like the only thing, if there wasn't going to be a tribe swap, it would be interesting to see how hard Fifi tries to try and save Kyle, or if Fifi was to let them just go by the wayside, like we've seen a lot of the other tribes do already. But yeah, without Fifi, I think Kyle is going to be screwed. So I think in this tribe swap, he's going to need her. But for the toot and boot portion, it's a boot. I just don't have enough toots. Sorry, Kyle.
All right.
Keeping it in the Kyle atmosphere, we're going to go with Kyler, formerly Posty or Poster, 18 years old, which is wild because they started Survivor None of It at what, 16 or 15?
I want to say 16.
I thought it was 15. Either way, doesn't matter.
He's grown. Kyler is an escape room fanatic and geography nerd returning with something to prove. After past missteps, they're back to show growth, play smarter, and entertain with underdog energy and artistic flair. This time, they're grounded, hungry, and ready for redemption. And honestly, what a great bio, because they've really proven, like in the previous Suitman seasons, they've made it far, but they've never been considered a threat, and they've just kind of been dragged along and didn't really kind of get their footing, but ended up near the end or right at the beginning of the merge. I think Kyler has grown so much and is in such a good spot. Is number one in the trust rankings on his tribe. Clearly is getting the social game component now and not necessarily just kind of, I don't know, playing blindly, just has way better self-awareness. So I'm actually really impressed with Kyler, and I'm excited to see where how he handles the swap and this game, Kyler's a two for me. Nick?
Yeah, yeah. I am thoroughly impressed with Kyler, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little bitch here for a moment and say that I did not have high expectations for Kyler, but so far he's proven me wrong. So I am most pleased. So it's a toot from me too.
Jackson?
Kyler has really impressed me. They have gone, they, in previous seasons, they have been very questionable. The person that everyone just kind of went, I mean, I'm not gonna say that they were basically the person that everyone thought they could sit next to at Final Tribal and have no issue. But
Mhm.
they were absolutely the person that everyone thought they could sit that was going to be their story. And it's great to now see that not being an issue going forward for Kyler. I do think that they are in a real, they've basically improved on almost every aspect of their game to this point. And I want to see what they can do going forward. The swap will be the full test for them, but for now, they are a full toot for me.
Yeah.
I want to look back at our previous ones. I don't think Kyler would have got three toots in the past. So yeah, so proud of you, Kyler.
Whoa, that's a diva growth.
We love growth.
You know what that is? Growth. It's that gift from Insecure. Okay. Next up. Okay, where the fuck did the casting go? I've lost it. Oh, nope, I found it. Okay. Next up, we have another Suitman alum. We have Lav. Lav is 18-year-old IT student from Serbia. Um, he's here to run it, bring the perfect mix of charm, brains, and chaos. Is going to keep everyone guessing and the spectators entertained. I'm the kind of player who can make you trust him, or he's the kind of player that can make you trust him, work with him, and still vote you out with a smile on his face. He's not afraid to take risks, to make moves, or shake things up when the game gets too quiet. Hot take so far. I have not been very entertained with Lav, unfortunately, which I was like really excited to see what Lav had in store. But I'm content wise, I think we're lacking a bit with Lav so far. So for me, based on that notion, it's a bit of a soft boot, I think. I think like Lab is in a good spot going into the swap, but I yearn for more content from Lab, which is where the disconnect is for me. But anyway, Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of want to say the same thing because like I have never actually seen Lav play, but they've been so active in this community that I know them.
Mhm.
And they should know based on being a trusted spec and being around here on like what kind of expectations we have on activity wise in their confessionals. And I'm just not seeing it. And I have only so many toots to hand out, so I am going to give Lav a boot on this one and just hope it improves the further along the game comes along.
Yeah.
Jack?
Uh Love, I want to give them more credit for everything they have in this game, but right now I am just whelmed. That is the best way I can put it. I'm just whelmed for probably the person on this cast over over Kyler, who has the most experience. Lav is kind of just riding the wave at the moment. Uh which I mean is a very valid strategy in the first couple rounds. With this swap, I want to see what happens going forward, but I really do have to see more in order to really say anything significant. I am gonna go with a soft boot.
All right.
I understand.
T. Next.
Next up, we have Mads, 21 years old from Los Angeles, California. Mads is a high energy, no nonsense social butterfly with a strategic edge and a competitive heart. They're here to shake things up, charm the cast, and do whatever it takes to stay ahead. You'll love them, hate them, or both. But either way, you'll be watching. Jack, thoughts on Mads?
Just like Lav, I really just don't have much to say about Mads at the moment. And it feels unfortunate to me because I want to see more from Mads. Right now, I feel like they have been just kind of like, I just riding the game. Ultimately, I think they could do fine, but for now, I am also going to give a soft boot.
All right. Yeah, no, same. Like I played with Mads before and like enjoy Mads, but so far I'm just not getting a ton. So it's a soft boot for me too.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo everything. I feel like they haven't been giving us the content. And like, unlike Lav, who's been here and knows what our expectations are, I want to give them a bit of a pass on that. And hopefully that improves. But
Yeah.
I'm just not sure where it's going at this point with Mads. I really want them to succeed, but for now, it is also a boot for me.
T. Okay. Next up, we have. Oh, fuck, wrong page. We have 27-year-old attorney from New Jersey, Shep. Shep is a survivor lawyer. He works as a prosecutor and is ready to bring all his evil lawyer talents to the game. He's strategic and comes equipped with an admittedly hit or miss social game, but when it hits, it hits. He'll be upfront with y'all. He doesn't do the drama thing. His confessional will have gossip, slams, or disses. Boo! But what I will have is video confessionals where I explain exactly what I'm thinking on strategy at every given moment. He'll never have to guess why he's doing something. He can assure you about that. His strategy is simple: make allies, try to stay out of leadership roles, and then cut the heads off the leaders when we get to the mid-merge. At the end of the day, he's a mercenary. He'll betray his best friend in the game and thought it would help him win. Thoughts on Shep, Jason?
Okay. I've already given them shit for not giving us any confessionals. So, and then after that, he gave us a 19-minute video, but your boy has to work during the day, and I don't have that much time. So I haven't got to it yet. But I will after this. I swear, I promise, Jeff. It's not going to be wasted. I will watch it. But goddamn, 19 minutes? That's like a freaking chore. There's 21 other people. But anyways, similar to the others, the last two, I feel like there's a lot of potential here. I know Shep. I've seen them play the game. I know they usually go pretty far. This is a pretty stacked cast. I just don't know. Like, I just don't know what their game is right now. And that is where confessionals are so important. And typing it, like, give us what you're doing. And I'm sure I'll get that in the 19 minutes next. But as of this moment, I just don't know where his game is at. And I have to give Shep. I'll give Shep a soft boot because I feel like there's potential.
Yeah. Jack.
Nick?
Oh,
sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
I feel like Shep just across this tribe is very contentious. If you look at the current trust rankings that were given out for episode 1, he has 2 6s, but also a 1. Simply put, Shep is in a very weird spot where I can't tell how well he's going to be moving forward. A 19-minute confessional is great, but I'm worried ultimately about how quickly he's going to be able to connect with the rest of his tribe. Especially moving into a swap here. For me, he is a boot. I just have not gotten anything amazing from him, but I do want to see what he does in the future.
Yeah, I think that's valid. Like, I love Shep as well. Like, I mean, I've played with him before, both as an ally and an adversary. He definitely has an issue with keeping his threat level low and figuring out, even if it is high, how to regulate that a bit. But I think that Shep is still a good player ultimately. Like, I think that he has a good player, he has potential. I just need more content with him right now, and I think that he needs to put his foot on the accelerator a bit more socially to really earn that toot from me right now. So unfortunately, it is a soft boot. I'm sorry, buddy, but I do think that he, out of everybody that I booted so far, frankly, has probably the best potential of like turning it around and actually like delivering a good game. But yeah, who's next?
We have Spencer, 30 years old.
Spencer.
What's that?
I said, "Ooh, Spencer."
I was like, don't, I did not get this wrong again. Spencer is a fresh face with a boom or bust style, strategic and social. They're self-described king of small talk with a taste for flashy plays. Spencer knows their flaws and is ready to evolve. This season, they're swinging big and promising a confessional show. Let's start with Nick on this one.
Okay, I enjoy Spencer. I think that he has been delivering on most cylinders so far. I think that he's in an all right position so far. I have been enjoying what he's given. I do think there's a bit more that leaves, I think there's room for growth socially, but I think there's just enough content wise to where I'm still enjoying it. And I think that he's a fun character. So it's a toot for me, honestly. It's more on the gentler toot side, but still a toot. So no, I'm enjoying Spencer. Jack.
I have enjoyed the amount of content that Spencer has given us very early on in this game.
Mhm.
He does seem to know how to play this game well.
Yeah.
Right now he is a full toot for me because I think he is someone who can easily strategize in this swap and be 100% fine.
Mhm.
Ultimately, I don't really have any worries for Spencer moving forward.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. I feel like Spencer, they've kind of cruised to this point. I know we're only a few days in, but they've won two challenges. They haven't really needed to show any strategic prowess or like put themselves out there and like show how they can play. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I think there's a lot of potential here, and I'm excited to see where they go in this swap. Spencer is a toot for me.
Okay. Next up, we have. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Hold on. Me not. Hold up. Next up, we have 34-year-old Topher. Topher is 34 years old from Ontario, Canada. Oh my God, a Canadian. Hi, Jason.
My culture.
My culture. They spend time obsessing over horror movies, perfecting the art of folding T-shirts, and hanging out with their dogs and cat. They got their start in the ancient AIM era of orcs. What the hell? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's my
God.
culture too.
That is Jason. That's a fucking relic at this point. That's Jason age. Anyway, after 20 years off, Spencer or Topher came back swinging last year. They might give off golden retriever energy, chill, goofy, kind of vibing through life, but don't be fooled. That would be your first mistake. They've got a sharp read on people, a sneaky, strategic mind, and a social game that makes folks feel comfy. They're not here to play the flashiest or most domineering game. They'll be over here making real analogies and somehow finding themselves in the center of action. They're here to have fun, try their best, and maybe stir the pot a little bit. Jason, thoughts on Topher?
That's like there's a lot of similarities. I also played many, many years ago, took a huge break, came back and actually played Suitman's was my first return into it. So I relate to that. We're from Ontario. We're in the community. So like a lot of pros here, but I've also seen them play. Like I saw them play in Stranded. I've heard that they did really well in Rewind. They've played really good games too. My only concern is Topher has kind of been like Anna is already very skeptical on Topher. Like Topher already has people kind of watching them, and I don't know if it's because they think maybe he might be being playing too good that he's already on like people's radar. So I'm a little concerned about that might not get them all the way to the end. But I'm excited to see the strategy. I know that they can play. I've seen it happen. They're going to be entertaining all the way to the end, and I'm really excited. Topher is my top two for many, many reasons.
Jack.
I don't know how to feel about Topher right now, to be honest with you. I think he did potentially get a little clocked of like people are at least a little wary of like, is he someone that could become a threat later on? Right now, with the information we have, I think he's going to be fine. At least for me, he is a toot. He is a pretty strong player, in my opinion. I just think that this could be the strong player who ends up getting robbed.
Uh, that's valid, I think. I agree with that actually. I think it's already troubling on episode 2 when people are already kind of starting to clock your tea a little bit. So I think that Topher definitely is in like the Dell realm of like being a very good player, but possibly being clocked a little bit soon and not being able to come back from it. It's a toot still for me. It's a major toot, but I do have that same concern for sure.
Next up, we have Tristan, 26 years old, or Trix. Tristan is playing shady, socially savvy, and strategically bold. They're not here to play it safe, and they definitely won't be bored. With a flair for the dramatic and a hunger for victory, Tristan is bringing the show this season. Nick, we're going to start with you on Tristan.
Oh God, where did I even put? Okay, so this one was kind of a hard decision for me, honestly, if I'm being quite real. Um, I really have enjoyed Tristan so far, 100%. The only reason why it's a soft boot for me is because I feel like, well, I don't really know why.
Oh, that's very convincing.
I I really enjoy Tristan too. Who else? Okay, hold on. Let me reassess. You know what? We're gonna do a last minute switch. I'm gonna toot Tristan, and we're gonna regrettably soft boot Jamie. That's what we're gonna do today. Sorry, Jamie. Love you down, but Tristan has something about him that I'm really enjoying the vibe. So it's a toot. It's a toot. Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone that has the name Trix, I'm not gonna complain that Tristan has been playing this game ultimately pretty well. I do think that he could be caught in the crossfire of people not exactly knowing what they want to do in the early game, especially for this swap. Uh, I can't remember exactly where their position was. Well, they were in a good position on the original Heiwa, but I do got to just see where they lie here. They were under a lot of pressure and they did well with a lot of pressure. But
Mhm.
when they're not in a majority alliance, are they going to struggle? So right
Yeah,
now they are a toot for me, but I want to see what happens.
yeah, I think that's valid. Jason.
Yeah. I feel like Tristan has a decent social game. Obviously, put themselves in a really strong like alliance on the original tribe. I feel like they're going to go pretty far. Like again, when you look at Hannah, Kyler, and Tristan, I feel like out of those three, Tristan's the one that's going to get the furthest because they're not going to be seen as a threat. Um, unless they're kind of pushing a little too hard, which I have kind of seen a little bit as they're kind of clocking Topher and making sure that could potentially be the next boot. Um, that being said, they did just swap, and the four of them ended up on the same tribe with Anna, Kyler, Topher, and Tristan. So that'll be interesting with Jason not in that group.
Right.
Um, that being said, I think Tristan's doing as good as he can, and it's a boot, or sorry, not a boot, a toot for me. I think they're going to have a pretty good swap now looking at this.
I was going to say a
And I
good
had him
amount
as a
of
toot
praise and then
before.
immediately a boot is crazy, but
Yeah, I know. With all that said, boot.
Oh my God. Okay.
Next up is
Our 21st and final person of this cast. Vince is a 34-year-old medical shopping person from Illinois. um, Vince says that some people may know him as the evil, manipulating asshole who lies his way through games, gets heated, and isn't afraid to speak his mind. Now that Vince will still be alive and well in his confessionals for your entertainment, the new game player Vince is a likable, humble hero who's recently had a roller coaster life, but is soon to be married to a wonderful fiance who beat ovarian cancer. Period. Snaps to that. Congratulations to Vince's fiance. He'll be someone to root for in the game. Not me, not there being a typo of room and me accidentally rooting or reading that as room instead of root. And someone you'll probably hate or be drawn to in his confessionals. I played with Vince before personally, like the end of last year, and actually it was the org that I won. And Vince was an ally that betrayed me and went early and merged because of it. But Vince is a good player though. He's a good player. He's been entertaining here. No notes from me. It's a toot for me for Vince personally. But Jason, what are your thoughts on Vince?
I've been enjoying Vince, and I'm excited to see a villain in this era. So hopefully they bring that. They are like right in the middle of this tribe. I know they haven't really had much to strategize or do much of, but like they are in a very like weird spot on the tribe, which is obviously going to be changing. But I don't know. I feel promising vibes from Vince. I'm excited to see where they go, and as long as they can keep it not toxic, then I'm looking forward to the villain of Prestige Survivor. But the second this man goes toxic, instant two. Or sorry, why am I getting this? Instant boot.
Jason,
but until then,
for toxic bitches.
Until then, I'm giving Vince my final toot of the Toot and Boot episode.
All right.
Jack?
Basically, Vince has been easily giving us, I think, the most detailed confessional this entire season.
Yes.
Any single action that Vince takes, he is immediately telling us and laying out a full like paragraph of information, which I love.
If Vince takes the shit, we will know.
Yes. I do think that Vince is in an interesting position, especially considering the 441 that is now his new tribe.
Mhm.
I want to see what he does going forward. Obviously he hasn't been in the firing line, and y'all have even said that like he can get a little antsy under pressure. So we will see what happens. For now, I am going to give him a toot, but I am very afraid of what could end up spiraling from him.
I agree. I think that it'll
be entertaining spiral. Entertaining spirals
are entertaining spirals.
Yeah.
As Jason said, Jason is encouraging toxicity this season because he will give people who are toxic a toot.
Wow.
That's what you just said. So I don't know why you're wowing me.
I mean, I was saying, no, I said, yeah, you're misreading. Misunderstanding.
Sure. Okay, but that fucking covers the tooting and the booting of people. So we do, before we get into our draft, I think now is a good time to get into some questions we've received from the spectators. So, okay. Jason, from the Amazon, who placed, I think, what, 11th, 10th? No, 11th.
Going into this so blind today. I don't even know the question.
What made you decide to do the redemption twist this season?
I don't even like. We both kind of were just shooting the shit on all of the potential ideas that we could think of, and I know we came actually close to almost axing it.
Yeah, we did.
It was something we really wanted to do, and it was something we really wanted to do in a very transparent way.
Yes.
Where there were less surprises. Like, I don't know, when I was thinking about this twist, it was like, how can we present this to the cast and like get them to actually think about it? Like, they're voting these people out with the potential to come back, but like, I want them to know that right at the beginning, so then they know the consequences of their actions. And we're kind of seeing it right now with like, Tyler's doing a very good job socially. But he's lying to literally everybody as they go home. So if one of them was to come back, that could really blow up Tyler's game. And I'm really excited about that kind of component and what that's going to bring. Where when you see most of these like return from wherever, like it's more of a surprise, and it kind of gets people kind of upset because they thought they were gone. And I don't know. I don't know if that answered the question, but it's kind of where we were thinking.
Yeah, no, like, because I went into it when I found out that like season two was going to be like mine and yours, that I was like, I think it would be kind of fun to do like a redemption style, but I didn't necessarily like Redemption Island where it's like a duel every episode. And I don't necessarily like Edge of Extinction where it's like you're constantly having to do a bunch of shit and then there's like 20 people on the fucking jury. Like, not me accidentally spoiling it, but either way, like everyone that's on Decor will not be on the jury, to be clear. But I think that there was a lot of things that like I was just like we like literally were throwing shit, like you said, like at the wall and seeing what kind of really resonated with us. And there was a point in time where we were really like, I don't know if this is gonna work, like in the way that we want it to work. So we almost did scrap it, like you said. But ultimately, I'm happy with that worked out so far. I mean, obviously, we'll have to see more so as the season goes on and progresses, how it really impacts the game, because not only is there this element of they have to do this task or someone returning to the game, but there's also shit that like they can send into the game that is going to be an actual like potential detriment to someone that may have wronged them in the past. So this season, we really wanted to make it heavy on both people being aware of the fact that this is something that's happening and that every move that you make is going to be watched and ridiculed and scrutinized. So you better act carefully in the choices that you make in this game because it could come back to bite your ass very easily in a big way.
Like the one thing we do need is from these people that are getting voted out,
To
search the damn board. Jesus Christ, guy.
I don't know how much clearer you need to be about fucking looking. Jesus Christ. It was hilarious. I'm like, are you all well? Are you
How
good?
many times did I like tag the tribe map and been like, it's now open. Don't forget to because that's the thing. Like ultimately, there are some things on the board that might not come into play, and we are aware of that because we didn't want to be too much, but also like we need some of the stuff to get found and brought in.
Yeah, precisely that.
And that's why we also made the board smaller to make it easier for these people.
Right. So, Jack, when we initially obviously like brought to the rest of production this idea, what was your like initial reaction to seeing this?
So I will say having a Edge of Extinction style twist can always be rough because you are letting people sit around for like 2 weeks doing very, very little in order to just stay in a game for a shot at returning.
Yeah.
But I feel like how this season as a whole has been designed
Mm.
is very intentional to not only give the players who've already been eliminated a lot of power in releasing things into the game, but also allow them to strategize with each other. There is something very specific that will probably get revealed at some point, which will give players who've already been eliminated a lot of reasons to talk with each other to figure out who they can really trust. So once we see that actually come through, I think Takori is really going to shine. For now, it is just kind of like a slow build up.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens with it. For sure. The next question is from Miles. What were some locations that you wanted to do other than the Shadowlands this season? None. Like immediately when I got like it was New Year's Day, all of production, minus Jason because he was hungover, was on a Discord call on a VC.
Wow, you outed me like that?
Oh, love, we all know. Be real. Anyway, we were all on a VC in our prod group chat, and we were discussing about like future seasons as well. And then like I was like, oh well, like I kind of like want to do like a New Zealand season because I love New Zealand. Like it's New Zealand and Australia are both like number one and two on my bucket list of travel. And then I was researching more and more about like cool places in New Zealand and like looking into like lore of like New Zealand in general, and then came across the Shadowlands, and I was like, this would be like a really cool sort of theme. And then I got into like the Maori culture and the concept of like what Takore is to them and how it's kind of like not limbo, but just like era of nothingness. And I think that kind of inspired me to really build the season around that. So New Zealand was always going to be the location. There was no other place I had in my mind. I was like, I want it to be New Zealand. It has to be New Zealand.
And also,
so there was never.
Miles, as much as we love this question, we can't out where we could potentially be going in the future.
Yeah, correct. That is also correct. So but New Zealand was always going to be. It was never anything else other than New Zealand. That was always the plan. So, next question from also V. What was one thing that you wanted to do better from season one, or one thing that you wanted to take from season one into two that worked well?
I think I mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Like I think the board was, I love the tribe map. I love the way that we're doing it. But I think the biggest thing was like it took so long for people to find things last time. So hopefully by reducing and making it a 6x6 instead of 7x7, hopefully that'll pick up the pace and the way that people find items. But we're also learning, so this could still be too big. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm curious to see obviously how it worked out, but I definitely think one thing that I took into account this season was I was very cognizant of like Jason and I talking about we wanted to decrease the size of the board because I feel like a lot of shit took a long time to be found. And not that everything has to be found immediately, like we don't want that either, but it was very much so a thing of like we wanted there to be more options for fluidity in the game, and having a smaller board definitely did allow us to kind of consider how things would impact the game more so. So I'm obviously excited to see how it operates in practice because we don't know yet. But I think definitely making the board a bit smaller and maybe having a bit more on the board this time around will be kind of an interesting shift. But like I don't think there was really anything from season one that I per se was going to like want to change aside from having a bit more on the board and having the board be a bit condensed. Because for one, the tribes are smaller this season overall, and also there's one less person on the cast. So, but
I think we also learned a lot about challenges. Like with going to the more semi-live, non-live, and kind of doing a mix and match of it instead of always live like Suitman's was, we learned a lot, like Jack said earlier, on just how to execute these. And when we were putting together our kind of favorite challenges or a list of things, trying to keep that into consideration. And then Jack really just nailing down all of the fine details from the mistakes that we've learned from the past.
Right. No, exactly. From Meg from the Black Forest, what were your main goals in creating this season? For example, emulating a specific Survivor season, trying a new twist, etc. I think, like for me, doing a redemption-esque style season, which kind of includes elements of like Edge of Extinction. There's like, I guess, it's not redemption style by any means. There's not really like a duel every episode, so it's not redemption style at all. It's more so Edge of Extinction, but it's also kind of geared from a previous Suitman season. I literally forgot. I think it was Isle of Skye. No,
Retribution Island?
It was, yeah.
Easter Island.
It was Retribution Island in Luzon. That was the season it was. So Luzon was like a blood versus water season that had like a Retribution Island theme and twist, which there was kind of a thing where players could find things and like send them. It was basically chaos cards. We're not doing chaos cards. We kind of having to be more intentional about like people on Decore finding these things and sending them into the game with intention, and like, and not so much being like a card that you just happen to pull, but like there's actual like
Jack said earlier, it's like we wanted them to be active in the game. And when you did, like when we considered the chaos cards, it's like the chaos card and like the duel, that all happened immediately. And then there was time off. There was nothing for them to do. We
Right.
really wanted them to do things and keep them active by doing the challenge or the task, and then also find things on the board. Like, let's give them the true experience of still playing with a chance to come back.
Mhm. No,
So we
exactly.
learned, like, we took some pieces from previous Suitman seasons, but really put our twist on it. And I really thought, like, I had a really great time with the twist, or like the theme of it and the void. And it was really fun kind of putting, and you'll see a lot of the advantages, like, and the challenges on how we kind of weaved in the Maori, like, trying to, what are the words, like mythical things. Like, we're just the whole
Mhm.
storm, like, it's going to all come into play, and you'll see that. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I think it was definitely like Jason and I spent hours on calls planning this specific twist. Like and like
And
what
throwing a lot of things out,
yeah,
and
and like
keeping a lot of things.
have and what advantages like we're working in versus what we didn't like. I also was like constantly blowing up Jack and like there are various things this season twist wise where I was like, do you think this works or do you think this doesn't work? Or like, what are your thoughts? So like Jack was also someone that I also ran ideas by too, especially of being like, what do you think about this? Because Jack, I feel like you've done so much with game design in general, like to where like like what seems enticing or what may not work well, or like kind of thinking through like the possible fallbacks or safety guards that we needed to have in place to kind of really make sure that these things worked well. But like Jack, also with you, I mean, you've obviously been on production for a long time with Suitmans in general in the server. Now obviously in Prestige too. Like what was your initial reaction to kind of seeing like do you think that you can be honest here. Do you think that we were initially being too ambitious, or what was your reaction to kind of seeing what we had hooked up?
I was honestly very interested. This season is going to be something that is comparing it to our first season is going to be a game where players are going to need to be a lot more fluid and willing to change things up in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a perfect season for redemption, the amount of shuffling we have throughout. A lot of games force players to work together with people that they necessarily wouldn't have before. And ultimately, I obviously, when you say, hey, we are going to have a potential challenge that 10 people are going to not okay, 10 might be a little bit of an over exaggeration, but like 10
Yeah.
or less people are going to play in order to just try and come back into this game. It's like, okay, that's a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
people are going to be fighting. There's going to be infighting within Takore. I ultimately have been very impressed by what's come out, and especially some of the early merge stuff. I think people are going to be taken very much off guard.
Yeah. I think I'm excited to see how it plays out. Definitely nervous, but also really excited to see like what people's reactions are to it. So I guess time will tell, you know. Next up from Jose, what were some plan ideas for this season that didn't quite make the cut? If you can say, I don't remember honestly, Jason. Do you?
I don't even.
I feel like we've had like what we were gonna do locked in for well over a month and a half now at this point. Um, yeah, I don't remember, and honestly, I feel like we'll probably end up using it in a future season anyway. So I don't remember that at all. I don't.
Like, maybe we for a second considered cards, but like we really killed that so fast because we neither of us wanted it.
Yeah, no, I think we did consider like the idea of like a chaos card esque thing, but we were like, no, maybe not.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
feel like all of yeah, we shot so much at a wall, but we killed a lot of ideas so fast. Like duels, we knew for sure not what we wanted.
right.
Like And then there's also some things that obviously you haven't seen yet. So like, we can't really say like where that kind of evolved from. Like I think if anything, a lot of our ideas just started off small and then we kind of built it and
Yeah.
chose different places to put things and design things around that. So you can't give away too much.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a good question from Damien from the Amazon as well. If you could rig the season for one person to win and one person to lose, who would it be? I'm going to start with Jack on this question to be messy.
That's so harsh. Damien, this is why you were
Wow.
pre-merge.
Okay. So you want me to directly throw someone under the bus immediately? That's fun. Um,
They
so
won't hear about it until later. Don't worry.
obviously, if I'm going to rig someone for to win this entire season, it will be Brooke. Brooke has just the most personal connection to me, and I also think they're probably not going to need the rigging.
Mhm.
Rig someone to lose. Fuck, are you?
This is a question from Damien, not from me.
I understand. You still decided to ask it. Um,
Yeah, because I thought it was a good
That's
question.
T.
so if I had to rig someone to lose this season, and this might sound a little weird at first, I'm going to say Lav, because right now Lav is not playing a winning game. I
Mhm.
want them to do well enough to have a reason to come back for a second chance season and then potentially win that one. But right now, I just can't see Lav winning.
Okay, Jason, I'll go next. Um, I would rig for Dell. Dell's my diva. Love her down. I think that she's iconic, and I really want. I want a girl winner early this season, this series. But obviously, the cards fall whether they fall. Um, in terms of who I would rig against, uh, that's a harder question. Obviously, I feel like just to fuck with him and really see how much of a player he's become and like how he's evolved since none of it. I'll say Kyler. Just to like
Wow,
really
you are a bitch.
what 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 did you say?
You're such a bitch.
Just to like really
I want
like
to see how he's really evolved.
I want to see how much he can come back from insurmountable odds. Yeah, I would say Kyler. I love Kyler so much, and Kyler, I know that Kyler will be one to listen postseason. So like, that's just an extra crumb towards the end of this podcast with Kyler. But anyway, Jason, who are your people?
I'm going to start with who I would rig against.
Okay.
And I'm going to rig against this person because I want them to go far, but I want them to like get voted out in Final Four with the challenge, with the fire making challenge. And it's going to be Vince because I want chaos. I want fun chaos. And I want Vince to get far enough to cause the chaos and then go down in a blaze of glory. But and I cheated him. Like, so I apologize for that. Who I'm going to not root, rig it for the win. Obviously, I got to go Topher. Topher, I feel, is kind of being clocked right now, but I need to find a way that I need to mist everybody away from him and to fall into his trap to give Topher the first Canadian victory.
Not a soul king clock. Anyway, okay, this is a question from Jacob. He
Which
asked
Jacob?
Jacob Guadalupe, Jacob, Pepto Bismol crackhead, Jacob.
Oh no.
He did ask one about how redemption differs from other redemptions in Gen 3, which you've already covered, so I'm not going to ask that question again. However, he did ask a very important one, and I'll start with Jason on this question. Ian's son or Lily daughter?
Wait, what?
He asked Ian's son or thought daughter or Lily daughter.
Obviously, Ian's son.
Okay, Jack.
Um, Lily daughter, are you kidding me? Is that a question?
I'm gonna go with Ian's son as well. Lily and I are feuding right now, so yeah. In the org, she just took me out of it, and I kind of hate her for it because I was definitely going to win, but I digress. Anyway, that's why I can't play Big Brother anymore. But anyway, now we're going to really quickly go through and do the draft. So we're doing a snake draft. So I won last season, as is custom. I will pick first. Also, we will each at the end pick one of the three eliminated people. So we'll save those three for last. So anyway, I'm going to start as off, and I'm going to pick Dell as the first member of Team Nick. Jason is the first person on Team Jason.
I could do such a douchey thing right now,
I'll kill
but I
you.
won't.
Anyway, go on.
What's that?
I said I'll kill you. Anyway, go on.
I wasn't going to be against you. I was gonna be
Oh, well, then
against-
proceed. Go on.
I'll go Topher.
Okay, Jack. You actually have Jack has two picks now.
I am gonna go with Brooke and Kyler.
Okay, Jason.
I'm going to go with Anna.
Okay, now I have two. I'm gonna go with Fifi and fuck. Why is this so difficult? Fifi and Spencer. Jason.
Let's go with Vince.
Okay, Jack. Two more.
Uh, let's go with Fraser
Mm-hmm.
and Tristan.
Okay, Jason.
Damn. Let's go Jamie.
Okay, I'm gonna take Gersh and Shep. Jason again.
Let's go Jason.
All right, Jack. Two more.
Um, I gonna go Love and John.
Okay, Jason.
Let's go Mads.
And then I will take Kyle because I'm a good person. I'm just kidding. And then I will also, since I have another pick, I will pick my pick of the three, and I'm going to pick Chloe. So,
I'll go Shima.
all right. So Jack gets Issa then. All three are out right now, so those two don't really matter in terms of pick. But okay, so to recap,
Yeah, they can come back.
true. Very true. Also, just to recap, Team Jack is Brooke, Fraser, John, Kyler, Lav, Tristan, and eliminated player Issa. Team Jason is Anna, Jamie, Jason, Mads, Topher, Vince, and eliminated player Shima. And Team Me is Dell, Fifi, Gersh, Kyle, Shep, Spencer, and Rob Diva Chloe. So, before we close today, I want to gauge final thoughts from Jack about this season, our lovely special guest today, about your thoughts and predictions for the season.
I am very excited to see how this plays out. I think this season ultimately has a very dynamic cast,
Mhm.
and I ultimately just want to see what happens in terms of their gameplay.
Mhm.
A lot of the game is going to be very brain heavy this season. Uh, and with a game built on adaptation, I think we're in an amazing spot to just see people ultimately play one of the most frantic games that this series has ever seen.
Oh, That's a good prediction and a good take. I support it. I think we're in for a very fun season, and I'm so excited to watch it play out, honestly. So I'm so fucking stoked. And I'm also curious to see how the swap is going to ship out, because this swap has very interesting divides on both tribes. So I'm curious to see what's in store for these bitches. Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's like, we probably should have said this at the beginning, but I'll end it with this. Like, ultimately, if you got tooted or booted, like, this is nothing personal. It's all just for fun.
Correct.
And most of the time, we're wrong anyways. So, like, don't think too much about that. But ultimately, I say that because this is such a great cast.
Yeah.
I am so excited to see all of these people play with what happens with the swap, what happens in the future. We have a lot of fun things in store. Hopefully, the items on the board all get found and get released. This is actually, like, I feel like my first one that I've really been a part of the creation of. So I'm really excited to see how this all rolls out. And I think we have a great cast to execute. And now we're just going to sit here and let them play.
Yes, period. So, for now, we'll just have to wait and see what the season has in store for us. But I'd like to thank the spectators for listening. I want to thank Jack for joining us today. You are the very first two-time guest of Snuffed. So thank you for joining us again. We love having you on.
Y'all are absolutely welcome. I am very excited to see how your game plays out, and I cannot wait to hear what guests you have on for future episodes.
We'll just have to wait and see. We may have some Amazon reps. Who knows? Wouldn't that be fun? But Jason, thank you as always for joining me and being on this Shadowlands journey with me. God, it's been 4 fucking months of us doing this.
Can't believe it's
literally a fucking a third of the year. But here we are. But for now, we will just see you guys next time. So goodbye.
Bye.